Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Railroads Online. Um, we're going to be kicking off our little look at the DLC content available, starting today with the Pioneer Valley content. Uh, Kicking it off with this one because I got it for free. I didn't have to pay for it. I've owned the game since quite literally the day the game came out. So they gave it to those that had the game before the release for free. Cool beans. Um, It'll be a pretty short video as it's not a huge pack. It's literally 3 items. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to take a look at each of them as in depth as we can. And move on from there. So, Pioneer DLC for Railroads Online. For those of you that do not own it, did not get it, it is $2.99. And it will include the Bell's Gap 060, the Red Mountain Depot building, and the Lake Valley special skin for the Montezuma locomotive. You're mostly buying it for the locomotive. Let's be honest. Matter of fact, their first screenshot for the pack is not something in the pack. It's kind of funny, but well. So Bell's Gap 060, kind of a neat one. According to their little thing here, locomotive was built by the Bell's Gap Railroad of Pennsylvania. It was the first locomotive to move freight and passengers along their 8.5-mile route between Bell's Mills and Lloyd. It also includes the unique Red Mountain Depot building, which was originally located in a railroad Y in the town of Red Mountain, Colorado. And of course the Montezuma skin that's not necessarily based on anything, but we'll look at it as well. So, starting off, meat and potatoes, that which everybody wants to see, the new locomotive, the 060. It's a pretty neat locomotive. It looks kind of like a Virginia and Truckee 260 without the pilot. So obviously, it's not a huge powerhouse. It's a decent early game coal locomotive. Obviously, you will have to have coal industries up and running by the time you get to this locomotive. But for being an early coal locomotive, it's not half bad. It doesn't burn a ton of coal real quick. It's not a powerhouse. It's got a handful of options. It's fairly quick for what it is. That's about it. It is kind of unique in that it's got a 3-axle tender with a single front axle and a swiveling rear bogie. Kind of different just in American train terms. It's not something seen very often. Detail wise, it looks alright. I mean, it's not mind-boggling. It's kind of different. Won't lie, is it something necessarily needed? Not really. You're not necessarily missing out if you don't have it. But it is cool. So let's look at its stats. Baldwin's 11D1, Bell's Gap. It is an 060, built in 1871, weighs 33,000 pounds. It is coal-fired. Tractive effort of 5,942 foot-pound. Is it mind-boggling? Given that it's a coal-fired locomotive, uh, it's a yard switcher, for lack of a better term. Uh, it's a later game locomotive that, price-wise, it's pretty cheap, credit where it's due. But you come over here to the wood-fired Glenbrook at 8,000 pounds. I mean, it's really kind of on par with Eureka here, which again is wood-fired, so it's like, why would you come over here to the coal-fired when you could just use a wood-fired Eureka that you don't have to do any extra steps to get the fuel for? It's, you know, it's cool. I mean, I'll give it credit where it's due. It is cool. It's a neat kind of a neat page in history. But I'm not gonna say, goodness me, you should go out of your way for it. Again, it was given for free for those of us that already own the game, so I'm not gonna complain about it in the sense that it is nice of them to give us a free DLC. On the other hand, if you're looking at buying this because you don't already have it, you know, you're watching this video later on, just know what you're getting into. It's more of a own it to say you've got it rather than own it because it's a viable step in your locomotive progression. Because, like I said, tractive effort is, it's alright, but it's coal-fired, so to get into the coal industry, you have to service the entirety of the lumber industry and others. You have to have the steel industry up and running. It's kind of a lot, in my opinion, to be able to get into running a okay coal-fired locomotive. Now, that's not to say that it's the only one of the lot. I mean, we got the Ferries and Cliff House locomotive over here, which is also coal-fired with a tractive effort of a whole 4,000 pounds. Again, locomotives like this, to be coal-fired, they kind of, So, when you could just come get a Mason that's got 8,400. So yeah, you know, it's there, it's neat, it's cool, but its usefulness is gonna be kind of meh. Might make a good helper locomotive later on in the game, given that you can control 2 or 3 or however many locomotives from the UI panel. So I could see a use for it in that way, but other than that, it's just kind of eh. So customization wise, number, name, and tender, smokestack, straight, actually it's a short silver cap, taller brass cap, a UP style balloon, no, not really a balloon, glorified pan, and there's your more balloon style headlights. You get the old oil-fired headlights. I get a kick out of this one single light here that doesn't get the artwork on the side. It's almost like they forgot it, because literally all the other headlights get the artwork on the side. How did I know you'd be back? Fat cat. Paint. Nice. Oh, green this be. This nice western burgundy and red with polished brass. Mostly black with Some fun pinstriping. Black with nothing. And the original with the polished wood cab, Russian iron, black, pinstriping. So that's the bells, buttons, whistles that we get with that. Alright. Can't click on it. Sound wise, bump it into my tender here. I don't know if it got anything new sound wise. Single chime whistle. It's got old sounds. I wish so bad that they would do away with this blur. I've never liked it. But overall, it does run kind of nice. It is animated. It's got the animated valve gear inside. Does have a handbrake. Does not have any other kind of brake. Yoink. Inside the cab, we're standing in the firebox. It's pretty typical of one of these locomotives. It's not a whole lot going on. Sand, whistle, throttle, reverse. We don't get that one. Cylinder cocks. That would be our dampers. I'll get that one. What? Bell. That's definitely not a bell. Wow, the hitbox for the bell is interesting. Aw, the bell cord doesn't even move. Oh, how disappointing. Yeah, that's it. I assume that is supposed to be a brake handle. This thing ain't got brakes. I don't know what that goes to. Huh. Anyhow. So there that is. Bell's Gap 060. Next, we got our Red Mountain Depot here. Got a fella sitting here waiting for the train. Inside the depot, got a nice roaring fire because it's freezing outside in the desert. Come on, there we go. It's kind of nice though. It's got a nice detailed interior. It's one of the odd buildings that does get a nice detailed interior. Sliding doors. Doesn't have a ticket office, does it? Nope, doesn't. Interesting. So yeah, there's that. It's pretty neat. I assume it functions like a freight building? It doesn't really say. Let's see. To place it, it's gonna be G Industries. So yeah, it doesn't really say what it's for. So I assume that it works just like a freight depot. It's just a special version of it. I don't know. But it is neat. Credit where it's due. It is neat. It's got a nice interior. It is set up pretty nice. Where is that light coming from? Aha. Found a bottle. The old man's hidden bottle of bourbon. Oh, there's the ticket office. Well, we'll just go through the door. We got a safe. We got a chair. And wham bam, ticket office. Again, with the light that's got no source. And this freight depot. Last but not least, new skin for Montezuma. It's this kind of worn out, sandy, used look. Which, you know, it's pretty neat overall. Most of you know I'm not a huge weathered fan in any train game. In a video game, it just kind of looks meh. It doesn't look half bad, though. I'll give credit where it's due. It does look pretty... Ooh, goodness me. It does look pretty good for what it is. So yeah. Brake stand for our lack of brakes. Anyway, it's one of those weird things that I noticed, but yeah, it's just a paint scheme. It's pretty neat. It's kind of different. Kind of fits in here in our desert look, to be perfectly honest. The locomotive kind of fits in here at the desert look, where it's relatively flat. You need something quick, not necessarily powerful. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the Pioneer DLC. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It is available on Steam for those of you that don't own it. For those of you that did get it, cool beans, you know. We were given something. Not going to complain about something that's given to me. For somebody that's looking at buying it, it's alright. You may or may not get your playability out of it, but on the other hand, it's $3. Meh. It's not like you're going out of your way for like a Train Simulator Classic DLC. It's $20 to $25 for a single model sometimes. You're getting 2 different models and a paint scheme. So in retrospect, $3 is $3. It's not that bad for what it is. So definitely go check it out. It is available on Steam. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you guys next time.